And this is how I started, right? So when I started Herbalife, it was just me. And all of you, when you started, uh, let's say you were in the beginning alone. You were never essentially alone. You always had a team. You always had a mentor. But it wasn't until I got my first person, very first person that said yes to Herbalife and yes to the vision that I had from Mark Hughes. And at that point, that was Thea, who's on the call actually. First person that said yes to Herbalife is where I truly started, believing that things were really possible for me. And for most people, it's the hardest part is getting that first person that believes first and foremost in you, then in Herbalife, and then buys into the vision of Herbalife. And then when you get that person, it's only a matter of time. Some people will come into Herbalife, they will be already developed. So they will be leaders already from, areas from their former life. Maybe they were captains of their teams. Maybe they were, straight A students. Maybe they were a part of some sports. Maybe they were a manager at some firm. Maybe they had a job, a high position paying job. Maybe they were a sheriff, right? So all of these positions, they come into Herbalife, they see the marketing plan, they're done. You don't have to talk to them a lot. You only support them at that level, and they grow like crazy. And some people are going to buy into the vision, but they're going to need some work, right? So you're going to need to be talking to them a lot. They're going to need to develop some skills. But essentially, if they have that belief and vision, if they buy into the vision of Herbalife, into the vision of Herbalife for themselves, and if they stick around to the events long enough, they're gonna see their success sooner or later. And for me personally, first 2 years was critical. So a lot of people today, especially the new guys, they see me and they see, Vanya Gerget's millionaire team. It's not millionaire team, it's the team, right? That actually got me that status, the team, millionaire team. But the first 2 years, I was far from it. So first 2 years when I was starting, I had a lot of uncertainties. I'm not saying that I have uncertainties today. I still have uncertainties today, but they're definitely not to that point where they were when I started. So for the first 2 years, what do I actually say by uncertainty? I wasn't certain. I kind of knew that Herbalife could be something that could provide, that could give me an opportunity to design my life and to design my lifestyle and to actually provide for me and my family and future generations, but I wasn't certain. Whenever something happened, it bumped me down, and I always kind of had a plan B, a plan C, plan D, something that, in case something happens, I'm going to be always using the products because I love the products. But, if something happens with the business, if this and that, I always have a plan B, C, and D, and that just kind of gave me certainty in my uncertain mind. So first and foremost, for a lot of us, and it's not just on a level of, millionaire team, get team, or active world team, it starts at any level essentially. And we always have to work on that clarity, right? Clarity of purpose, clarity of vision. What can Herbalife provide for us, and where can Herbalife take us? To truly understand, because right now, from our positions, wherever we are, we always have some uncertainties, right? Some fears and doubts. But if we put ourselves on a timeline right now, 5 years of this action and these disciplines that we have at this moment, and this mindset, this positive mindset that we have, and if we go let's say 5 years into the future, or even better, 10 years into the future, and we ask ourselves 10 years into the future, a person, 10 years from now, if you stick with Herbalife with the right mindset and the right disciplines, that person would be laughing right now, at some of your fears, doubt, and uncertainties. So that person 10 years ahead exists, and that person 10 years ahead is your reality if you continue. And all you need to do at some points, and it might seem weird at sometimes, but talk to that person, talk to you. Because in my opinion, the biggest competition and the only competition you should have is with yourself. With yourself in a year, with yourself in 3 years, with yourself in 5 years, with yourself 7 years, with yourself in 10 years, and with yourself during your lifetime. You always want to become the best possible version of yourself every single day, 1% better. There is no one else you can compete with, essentially, because no one else is like you. There was no one else before like you, and there will never be no one like you in the future. So only one you can compete with yourself. And ask yourself in 5-10 years, if you have some uncertainties, and if you will have some uncertainties, what would that person, what would you in 5 to 10 years in Herbalife as president's team, 20K, as international executive president's team 30K, as chairman's club, as founder circle, what would you do in the situations where you are now? You got to start thinking like that, because your reality right now is not where you're going to be. And if you want your dreams and goals to happen for you, and they're already happening, you have to be in the mindset of that person that already has that goals. That is, of course, that is difficult to put yourself now in the mindset that you already have it, that you already are that person. But this is why you got to work on that. That is a process. And it took me 2 years to really get that clarity of purpose, because I was going through a lot of ups and downs, especially in the beginning, financial situations. You're investing a lot of in product consumption, a lot of it you're investing in going to every single event. You're investing a lot of money and, of course, a lot of your time, because I still had a full-time job for 2 years that was paying my bills. That was essential for my growth in Herbalife, to actually have the bills. And it took me 2 years to get that clarity and to, let's call it, remove that fog from my face, where I actually started talking every day, daily. I started talking to the person, to me, that was president's team. I started talking to Vanya as president's team, that has a big organization, that that has leaders behind them, that has get teams, million teams, 7.5K, a lot of president's team in his org, and behind him, and everyone, that all of the lives that he has changed in the next 5, 10, 15 years, 20 years, that, as soon as I started talking to that person, to me in the future, that's going to have all that already has all that, I started getting certainty. And what I noticed is I started acting differently. So in the situations where I would back down, and in situations where I would maybe not invest my time and not invest my money and maybe not go there because I was scared or I had fears or doubts, this is where actually I went through it. I went through the wall, because I asked myself, look, what would Vanya in 10 years do? He would be laughing at you right now that you're thinking of not going to that event, that you're thinking of not talking to that person, that you actually have fears and doubts and uncertainties, that Herbalife is the opportunity that will and is providing for your family, and that will take care of your future generations. If all of us knew, and we can get that certainty in our head, because Herbalife has been here for 37 years, there is nothing uncertain about it. It will go to 20 billion, it will go to 30 billion, 40 billion, and it will go there without us. So it's certain. The only thing that we sometimes do is we provide ourselves with the uncertainty in our head, when everything is truly certain, if we have the right mindset, if we have the right disciplines, and if we actually just go into that direction. It doesn't matter if it's up or down, because essentially in your journey, there's no difference between up and down. It's your journey. And everything, even your failures and your successes and your ups and downs, they're an integral and essential part of your success. You cannot have the ups without the downs. You cannot have the failures without the successes. You gotta have it all, right? So it's normal. It's completely normal. Positive is normal. Negative is normal. But what we tend to do sometimes is we tend to overreact to the negative. We tend to overreact to the uncomfortable, and we tend to overreact to change, right? Because everything that makes us change somewhere, to makes us making us a different person, it is uncomfortable for us. That is absolutely normal. And this is a cool thing to know about also our brains and just human nature in general. Just better understanding of yourself and better understanding of maybe your teammates and your future teammates. We are beings of necessity. So it is in human nature that we do things. We do things only when we must do them. Only when we have to do them. If we don't have to do something, then we will sit on the couch and watch TV. Then we will procrastinate if we don't have to do it. If we have that, let's call it security at any level, and security can be, maybe I'm getting a minimum wage and I'm just scraping by to pay the rent and having just enough food. That is, for most people, that is the comfort zone. And they will not move unless they must. So there's only two ways why people will move. Either you will start put it in your head that you have to do it. You will put it as a must. You will put it as your standard, and you will go ahead and do it because you don't have an option. You will put it in your head, even though maybe the situation is not like that. You will put it and create that situation in your head. I have to do it. Or life will happen to you. Something will happen to you, and where life will put you in such an uncomfortable situation where you will have to move. And this is why sometimes you see, really fast fast growing stories like, let's say, Garen Jones, and there's more than enough stories. There's actually hundreds of stories in Herbalife of people that grew really fast to president's team and to other statuses. And the only connection that I can see in that growth, the really essential component of that growth, is that because they had to, they did not have any other option. They ran out of other options and they had to do it. Life made them do it. Herbalife was the only opportunity for them to actually get the life of their dreams and to provide for their families. And what if we put in our heads right now that Herbalife is, which it is, right now we put in our head, whatever our situation is, that Herbalife is a must for us, that Herbalife is the only opportunity that will provide financial freedom for us, for our families and our future generation. That is the only opportunity that will be able to provide for us the lifestyle that we deserve. That it is the only opportunity that will ever be able to get us our goals and our dreams. And we can create that in our head right now. As soon as I got clear about that, 2 years, I never stopped. So for the last 3.5 years, I've been in the process. So a lot of people think, when you get clear, this is when it gets easy. No, wrong. This is a leadership call. When you get clear on your purpose, this is when it actually gets hard. You don't get it doesn't get easier. You get tougher. Because if success was easy, if anything was easy essentially, and Herbalife is a platform for your success. If anything was easy, everyone will be successful. But when you get clear, you're already successful. But this is when you actually start the process and the journey and actually start figuring out how you want your life to look like, how you want your days to look like, what disciplines you need to implement, what habits, bad habits you need to maybe take away from the equation. What do you have to do over and over until you get the results that you want? What do you have to refine? This is where the process starts. And for the last 3.5 years, I have been in the process. And I'm telling you, it has been hard. But for me, it has been so enjoyable because I'm doing it on my own terms. I know what I'm working for. I'm clear on the purpose. I'm clear on the vision. And it's definitely bigger than me. It's not just about me. Financial freedom, yes, it's part of the equation, but it's way bigger than what I want to accomplish. It's the vision of changing people's lives, of giving people the right nutrition, of giving people the opportunity, just like I got it, the opportunity to actually change their lives for the better. Not just with the finances, but just the quality of their life overall. This is a gift that we have, and this is a gift that we can actually give. And when you get clear on what actually moves you, and maybe you already are clear, and that's great, but maybe you can get clearer. Or maybe you have to find that clarity wherever you are. When you find it, and you will find it, this is where the process starts. This is when it starts getting really interesting for you, and this is where the true growth happens. And clarity equals certainty. So no plan B, no plan C. Of course, a lot of you still have jobs, and I never encourage anyone to quit their job. This is something that in this moment is paying for your bills, and it's essential maybe at this moment. But give everything you got into the part-time opportunity that is Herbalife, that can provide you and build you something where you can actually get to the position where you can go full-time in Herbalife, maybe in 3 months, maybe in a year, maybe in 5 years. It doesn't really matter. But give everything that you are and everything that you got into those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, how many hours per day you got, so you can actually get clear, so you can get that purpose, so you can get certain, and so that Herbalife can actually give you what you deserve. Because in my opinion is that everyone has an unlimited bank account. Let's call it divine intelligence, bank on your name. Everyone has an abundance on their name, especially when it comes to Herbalife. And all you need to do is you need to start becoming the person that actually starts drawing out more and more of that abundance to your name. What's sad is that a lot of people go through their lives and they have all this abundance waiting in the bank, and they never claim it because they don't think they're deserving. They don't get clear on their purpose. They don't find the opportunity, and it just sits there. They die. They waste their lives, and the abundance bank is just it's full. It's full. Their name is there, and it's completely full. In Herbalife, what we're doing is we are drawing that abundance completely to us by becoming the person that actually deserves this. Not we all deserve it at this moment, but we all deserve it right now, but actually becomes a person that attracts all that abundance And why is the universe, why is God giving you, why is God going to give you and is already giving you all this abundance? Because they know, he knows, universe knows that you are going to do a lot of good with that abundance, that you are going to give that gift. You're going to share that gift with others. You're going to give that gift to other people, change your nutritional habits, give them the financial opportunity, give them the opportunity to start working on becoming the best possible version of themselves. And the more you become that, the more you become that person. And Garen Jones is in my opinion, and let's say Enrique Carillo are the two best examples of people who are so giving that God, universe doesn't have any other option than to give them abundance. Because the more abundance they get, the more they give out, and the more lives they are changing. It's absolutely amazing. But they too, they got certain, they got clarity, and as soon as they got that, things started happening really quickly. And the only reason why any one of us is maybe in not growing as fast as they should, or is stagnant or whatever, is because maybe we lost that clarity, or maybe we need to get clear, or we need to find that clarity. But as soon as we get that certain that Herbalife is the only opportunity and a must for us to have the life that we deserve, we're going to start growing like crazy. Does anyone have any, I know there's a lot of ideas, there's a lot of things happening. Does anyone have anything to share? Maybe something you wrote down during this process. I would love to hear your vision, your nuggets, your thoughts. Anyone?
Vanya, you sound a lot like Anthony Robbins.
I do?
Yeah, man, it was pretty fabulous just sitting there soaking it all in.
Because he talks about certainty, and he said when you don't have certainty, then you don't put enough action. And then when you don't put enough action, you have low belief, because you tell yourself, okay, I knew this was going to happen. I knew this was not going to work for me, because you didn't have the certainty in the first place to put enough action to actually have a belief in yourself. And it's like a circle that he is talking about.
Man, yep. Tony Robbins is the S. He's Jim Rohn's. Jim Rohn was his mentor, so of course he's the fabulous. Of course he's that fabulous. But Deontay, I see Deontay moving. Does Deontay have anything to say? I see him smiling there, man.
I was just laughing. Well, I like what you said about say the abundance bank is full, and a lot of times we think that like the abundance is out there is only for a certain select people, but it's actually there for all of us. Cause the more like if you're already a good person and you attract more abundance into your life, that just means you can do more good in the world. So is that what you said? You said the abundance bank is full?
Yeah, abundance bank. Yeah, your name.
I just need to quote you on that. If I post it, I need to quote you on it. All right. But that was great. That was great. That was good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's available for us all. I like that.
And I've got some thoughts on entrepreneurship too, right? Because in Herbalife, basically all of us here on this call, we're entrepreneurs. We are entrepreneurs, and a lot of us, correct me if I'm wrong, if someone was an entrepreneur before Herbalife. I have believed that most of us, probably all of us, we weren't entrepreneurs before Herbalife. So we came into Herbalife with everything except the entrepreneurship mentality. So we came with the workers mentality. We came from a school system. We came from a college. If someone finished college, we came from corporate America or whatever job you worked at. So basically in schools, in college, and especially their jobs, we always had someone telling us what to do. We never did anything on our own. Rarely, there was rare creativity spurts. And then whenever we got creative in class or our job, someone told us something negative. You shouldn't be doing that. They were basically discouraging our creativity and our personal initiative. So we only did what we were told. So most of us, we got into Herbalife, and we had to learn not the skills, not the disciplines. They're easy to teach. We had to learn the entrepreneurship mentality. We had to become an entrepreneur. And it only comes to actually experiencing the situation, going through the situations, going to the events, going through ups and downs. Because in Herbalife, no one is going to tell you to do anything, because this is entrepreneurship. You don't have a boss, and you will never have a boss. So You have to do it all. Of course, you're going to get ideas. Of course, you get a mentor. Of course, you get weekly calls. Of course, you get the STS. Of course, you go, every 9 days, there's a big event where, the most successful Herbalife distributors of the world are sharing their stories and how they did it. Of course, you can get the ideas from them. Of course, you can qualify VIP for the events and actually hang out with the top leaders and ask them questions. This is the best way. And ask them questions directly one-on-one. What did they did in this situation? You start asking specific questions, not general questions, right? Not general questions, because when people come in, what they tend to ask, they ask a president's team, how did you make it? That's such a general question. Of course, president's team is going to tell you, use, wear, talk. Simple, fun, magical, come to events. What else is going to tell you? Because you ask the general question, you're going to get a general answer. But as soon as you start working that mentality and you get into Herbalife and you start doing things on your own, you start developing that, and it's a muscle of personal initiative. And Napoleon Hill talks about it a lot. If you haven't read his book Think and Grow Rich, or if you haven't listened to any of his recordings or the book Outwitting the Devil, you got to get on it, because Napoleon, he's really big on personal initiative, and this is basically the essence of entrepreneurship, doing things without being told, because you understand that everyone wants to help you, but no one is going to do it for you. You gotta have the ideas. You gotta make the calls. You gotta approach that person. You gotta do the extra follow-up. You gotta come to the events when you're alone, when you don't have the money, when everything is going wrong. You gotta come to the events. When everything is going right, you gotta talk to your guys. You gotta motivate your guys. You gotta motivate yourself. You gotta inspire. You have to do all of this. And I would be lying if I told you that it was easy. This is why I tell you, at the beginning I told you it's hard. But if you get that clarity, it's not going to get easier. You're going to get tougher. And you're going to be really proud, and you already are, at the person that you are becoming, that you became, and that you will become. But only through personal initiative. And in my opinion, and I'm really modest on that, when it comes to, let's say, entrepreneurship, on this call, we have millionaire teams, we have get teams, we have active teams, we have world teams. But, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, no one of us, not even me, not even Des, not even Deante, not even the get teams, I don't think we truly understand still what entrepreneurship means. In my opinion, president's teams are the real entrepreneurs. They are the ones that truly understand, what's really, of course, we are, at some point, we have the qualities of entrepreneur. But in my mind, and this is just my opinion and my mindset, president's team, when you hit president's team, this is when you truly understand what entrepreneurship is, not just in theory, but in practice, right? Because you actually did it. You actually did it, and you can actually coach people on what it is. When people ask you questions, with certainty, you can tell them, this is what I did. These are the disciplines. You are basically a professional. Before that, you can give people your opinion. But unless you are that, how can you give them how can you give them opinion on how to be an entrepreneur when you're not president's team yet? When I'm not president's team yet, I can just give them, my general view of what it takes, personal initiative. And, it's a work in progress. I'm a work in progress, but definitely it's personal initiative. It's getting out of that mindset. It's getting that worker's mentality, and people are telling you what to do, and you do as you are told. Get it out. Maybe not right away. Of course, you're not going to be able to do it right away, but start getting it out of your way one step at a time, removing one bad mindset, one negative thought, one, worker's mentality mindset by one. Just start removing them for your head, because in Herbalife, in private, in partnership with Herbalife, in entrepreneurship, it is not going to do you any good. Actually, it's actually going to do you harm, because a lot of people, what they do is they wait for their mentors or leaders or sidelines or whoever to get an idea, or for them to tell them something, even worse, to tell them something, to do something, and unless someone tells them to do something, they don't do it. They're not cheating their mentor or Herbalife or anyone else from success. They're cheating themselves from success by not doing the action when they get the idea. And this is why we have, we always promote, Jim Rohn in the morning and Miracle Morning Flow in the morning to, get your blood flowing, to get the affirmations going in the morning, to put yourself in a good mood every single morning, to create that good feeling in the morning. because in that feeling, you're going to start getting the ideas and inspiration, what to do, where to go, who to call, who to follow up with. And as soon as you get those ideas in the morning when you start feeling good, or during the day when you start feeling good, you got to act on those ideas, because this is personal initiative. This is your intuition. This is the signs that you were waiting for and asking for, and you got to capitalize on it. Don't wait for someone to tell you to do something. If you get a great idea, please share it with the world. Please share it with the team by first doing it and then telling us your result. Because if you don't do it, you're first and foremost selfish towards yourself, and then you're selfish toward everyone else that actually did not see the beauty and the richness of your idea and how much everyone could actually capitalize from your idea. Because every single one of you on this call and beyond you on your team, you have greatness within you. You have no idea what kind of ideas you have in your mind, and you're not doing them, and you did not maybe do them just because you got blocked. You got blocked, and maybe right away when it hit you, you did not do it, and it just passed you away. Always have a notebook ready to write down that idea. Always have maybe an easy voice recorder to write it down, so you can actually maybe remember it later. Don't let it pass by, because that might have been $1 million idea, right? And the other topic that I want to talk about, and it directly relates to a personal initiative, is resistance. Resistance in Herbalife, in entrepreneurship, in your journey to personal success, freedom, happiness, best version of yourself. You're gonna encounter a lot of resistance. A lot of resistance from everywhere, from your peers, from your co-workers, from your family potentially, from your friends, from your best friends. But you know who you're going to encounter the most resistance from? You're going to encounter the most resistance from yourself. You are always was your best friend and your worst enemy. When you look at yourself in the mirror, what you tell yourself and what you are at this moment, you can be your best friend or your worst enemy. And those moments, especially in Herbalife, in entrepreneurship, you're always sometimes, at this point, let's face it, we are where we are. It doesn't matter where we are. It matters where we can be. But as soon as you start removing those blocks, and start becoming of some of those resistances that you are putting on yourself every single day, you see that person and you don't talk to that person even though you should have. You don't call that client even though you should have, and you got that feeling that you should have. You do something, you leave something to do tomorrow, even though you had the feeling you had to do it today. You miss an event because you say you don't have time, you say you don't have the money or whatever, and maybe that event, maybe that one sentence from that one special guest was everything that you needed to change your life. You should have talked to that team member to go make that extra push to go to extravaganza or to an event, and you don't do it because you think that he actually he knows what's best for him. These are the kind of blocks, and especially the dialogue that we have in our heads, that we're not good enough, the fears and doubts and actually procrastination that comes out of those fears and doubts and uncertainties is something that is limiting us every single day. Because there is no limit to the amount of action, to the amount of inspired action that we can have every single day, no matter how much time you have or don't have. Because remember this, it doesn't take a lot of time. It doesn't take a lot of time to create results. Because you get paid for results and for the value. You don't get paid for time. Inspired action, inspired ideas, smart work. It doesn't take a lot of time to do 10, 20, 30 times the result that most people are accomplishing in 30, 40 years of hard work. So hard work is definitely not the answer a lot of the time. Of course, you got to be disciplined. Of course, you got to be focused. But maybe it's not going to be as hard work as you think. It is going,
Can I tag on to what you're saying?
Yeah, it's going to be hard work on, yeah, go for it.
Because, we talked to a guy on vacation at the water park at Disney World, and a guy named Reggie. And Ted and I, when we hit Meal Team, so Reggie, we met him the first time at our first vacation in Hawaii, and we're at the same level. We were both Get Team. He was 2.5 actually, and we were Get Team. And then we popped 2.5, and we popped we popped Meal Team, and he hadn't moved yet. And he just was like resistance. He actually came to us like, what do I got to do? He was so frustrated. He watched us pass him for a year. And just recently, his organization, they hit Meal Team, right? Yeah. When everybody else wasn't growing, when they're making all of these changes. And when we asked him, what'd you do? He was like, bro, like during the winter months, I did a 90-day plan. And I know we hear this all the time. He's like, during the winter months when everybody else is winter, you know, I did a 90-day plan myself. And all I did, it wasn't even hard work. That's what he said. These are his words. It wasn't hard work. It was me just being consistent. I got out in the community and I talked to 10 people a day, every single day, even when I didn't want to. That was the most important thing, is that consistency. And after that, at being consistent with it, things started to happen. And we hit our cuts, right after that 90-day plan coming into January, February, and March. We start hitting cuts after that consistency. I don't know what it is with the universe, but that consistency and getting past that resistance and showing the discipline to like be an entrepreneur, because entrepreneurs, like Mario was saying, is discipline. But he also was clear on the outcome that he wanted to do. Which, and that hit me because it's like, I've only done one real 90-day plan since I've been in Herbalife.
And here you are.
Yeah, and here I am, millionaire team, taking my parents on vacation. Just imagine another 90-day plan. And I think we get it twisted with these 90-day plans. We want to make them all difficult and crazy, but it's just got to be something simple that we consistently do for 90 days. And one of those things could be to set out an outcome first. And one of those outcomes for all of us has to be to qualify for the vacation. Like, let the resistance go that Vanya's talking about. Let that doubt go and just say, you know what, no matter what, I'm going to qualify for the vacation. Just pick a vacation. All right, pick a year and say, I'm qualifying for this vacation. Yeah. And then work backwards from there, because everything, they set these vacations up. If y'all could just get there and see the people that qualify for the vacations, you'll see that these aren't superhuman people. These are what Vanya's talking. These are just people that decided to get clear on what they wanted and to just go all in and remove that doubt and to remove that and just simply work a 90-day plan. I guarantee everybody that's there has worked at least one 90-day plan where every single day they were using word and talking. They were sharing their story or somebody else's story about the products. And that's what I noticed when I got back from Disney. I've been sharing more about the opportunity than I ever shared before. The UPS man that dropped off my iPad, the FedEx man, when I told him I just got back from Disney and that this was a free iPad from Herbalife, they wanted to know. The first thing he said was, you know, well, how can I do this? You know, it's just so simple as sharing. And I got away from sharing. That's why Herbalife sets up these vacations so we can just share. So if one thing, what Vanya's talking about, the resistance, I had a resistance to sharing. I didn't want, I don't know what it was, but there was something inside of me to stop me from sharing. So for the next 90 days, I'm going to share with somebody new every day about the products and about the business opportunity. I'm going to share my story and invite them to come take a look for the next 90 days. Just that simple. And if all of us do that, that consistency right there, I guarantee you, if we all just share consistently the products and the opportunity, we'll see some change. But it's got to be consistent. It's got to be 90 days.
Yeah. Man, that was great, man. Does anyone else have anything interesting? A lot of nuggets. Oh, man.
We can talk about vacation.
Talk, please. Come on.
All right, man. So let me tell you. Ted, like, we didn't know what to expect from this vacation. Ted was just like, oh, Disney, you know, like, I don't even know if I would pay for this, right? A lot of people was hating on Disney. We just went to Mexico, you know? So you think, Disney, that's in Florida. Look here, man. Herbalife never disappoints. We got there. This is a huge resort. And we forget, Michael O. Johnson was the CEO of Disney. We pulled up, for one thing, when you get off the airplane, like, Disney do all of this stuff when you get there. They sent us these magical bands that came to my door. They sent us some luggage tags that came to my door to put on my bag. And when I put my bag on the airplane, that's the last time I see my luggage. I didn't see my luggage again until I got to the room. It was waiting in my room for me. I don't even know how they do that. I didn't need tickets for nothing. This little band, I just would go, boop. I walked up when I got off the airplane and I scanned my band and it was like, well, here's your bus right here. We got on this bus and it was playing these cartoons that I ain't never seen before with Mickey Mouse and all this other stuff. And it was called the Disney's Magic Bus. Magical Express. Getting off the airplane. They magically expressed us to Disney World. And we pulled up to this huge white estate and I walked in, and you walk in the lobby and it just smelled delicious. It smelled amazing. Apparently, and then somebody saw me take like a deep breath. It was like a guy, and everybody's dressed up like it's the 1950s, by the way. And the guy walked up and was like, "Oh, you smell that, my friend? It costs a lot of money to make it smell that way." Costs a lot of money to make it smell that way. And he goes to check me in, and he's like, "You with Herbalife? Man, you Herbalife people are making people jealous. Not everybody can stay here. We're sold out." And so Herbalife didn't initially book these rooms at the Grand Floridian, which is Disney's best resort. They booked some rooms at another great resort called Beach Club, but they sold out. And of course, MOJ pulled some strings to get us in the main resort that's like booked up for like all year. You can't get in there. He's like, "You making people jealous, man." We had to turn people away. We get to the room, and the best part though is I got to look at my little brother and my mom and my dad, who my dad has never really got to experience Herbalife. He sees what we do. He sees us travel. He sees us work. He sees us go to the events. But he ain't never really seen Herbalife, right? So we walk in. We get the red carpet treatment. All of these people are saying congratulations to him. And before you know it, he's asking me for a Herbalife button. "I need a button, Diz. You got a button?" I give him a button. He's like, "I want them to treat me like I'm Herbalife too." So he puts a button on. And next thing I know, he's starting to share his story with the bellman, with the people that work at, like the cooks and everybody, the servers. He's just sharing his story, man. He's the best unpaid distributor ever. I heard him talking, and he's just like, "Oh man," he's like, "I'm here because of my son and his business partner, Ted. Like they're doing Herbalife. They help people lose weight. They're changing lives in their community. They help change my life. I'm down 40 pounds and four pant sizes, right? And I'm here all because of them. And it's a really amazing product. You should definitely check it out." He's like actually sharing his story. He got a couple people to hit me up just from him sharing his story. But to hear how proud he was helped me see how big of a deal it was to be able to share that with my family. And I'm looking around, and everybody is sharing this experience with their family. And I feel like that Mark Hughes, Mike, they're smart. They understand that we do all of this work, and we need to be able to share that. And when your family sees that, they support you so much more. And they show you what you're doing is worth it, even more than you even know. And then you just want to experience more of that. You get hooked on it. You get hooked. And now you want to bring more people to experience that. I started off with just me and Ted. It was me and my mom and Trey. Now it's me, my mom, Trey, and my dad. Next year I'm bringing my grandmama too. It's very addicting. And it just feels like, and you see these people that have their whole organization there. And the first thing I start to think is, who else can we share this vision with so they can get here too? Because the more people you have with you, the more fun it is. And I feel like everybody on this call, all of you guys, y'all do it. We all do enough. We do the stuff we need to do. It's just some of us don't do quite enough for quite long enough to catch that momentum to get it. And there's like a little resistance that shows us that think that we don't have it, or we can't do it. And all I'm saying is it's right there. It's right there. And once you raise your standards to it being there, and like now my mom just expects it. Punta Cana, my mom's like, "Where we going next year?" She already knows it's no going back from here. She's like, "Dad, now you need to," my mom literally said, "You need to make sure you're doing what you need to do, because I'm used to this. Now I gotta go." And my little brother was just like, at one point in the vacation on like day 3, he came up to me, he gave me a hug, and he said, "Thank you so much. I got to do everything I wanted to do." And everything at that point, all the drama, all this, the shit, as Vanya would say, that you go through, that you grow through, all of the doubt and everything that all the stuff we got to deal with, it just melts away, when your little brother, your 9-year-old brother says that. And that was the most amazing part. And Pandora, man. So we went to Avatar. Anybody seen Avatar?
Of course.
Vanya, did you see that picture of that I posted with the Avatar?
I thought that was a movie or something.
No, dude. We were in the movie. It was like
we were on a banshee. We
were on a banshee, like literally rode a banshee. I got to warp into an avatar. If you have seizures, you can't do it because they flash you and you like go through a portal, and next thing you know, you're an avatar and you're riding a banshee.
No way.
Yes, man. And it's so deep. like this, it's a world with floating mountains. And like the people that are working there, I was trying to get back to another park. I was trying to go to ride this ride that's in Nepal because it's worlds. And I was like, hey, how do we get to Asia, which is the park that Nepal was in? He was like, well, first, you're going to want to go back to Earth. And I was like, what? First, you want to go back to Earth. And I'm not really sure how Earth travel works. I haven't been there in so long. But I do believe you need to go to Africa first. Take the time bridge to Africa. Take the portal to Africa. And then you can walk to Asia. And I was like, man, there's some real deep stuff right here. And sure enough, we had to walk through Africa. But we went to Pandora 2 nights in a row. And we bumped into Garen. And Garen said he had been to Pandora 3 nights in a row. He was like a walking zombie. But it was one of them things where like it just draws you back in. Going back and forth. My little brother woke up at 5 a.m. in the morning. We went to Animal Kingdom, went to Pandora, then we went to Hollywood Studios and rode the Tower of Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster. And you had the fast pass, so you just go, boop, you walk right on in. There was no lines. The longest line we waited in was like 30 minutes, which was Pandora. Incredible. And then we went back to the room, and I passed out for a little bit. They stayed up. And then we went back out and then get back home to 3 a.m. And my little brother was rocking the entire time. So it was pretty great, man.
It sounds like you need to be on Herbalife Nutrition to keep up with that pace.
Huh? Oh, look, let me tell you something. We put the products to the test. They gave us like a good $300 worth of products. I mean, like, look, H3O, if y'all ain't using H3O on a long day, you're cheating yourself. H3O saved my life. And CR7 Drive. The carbs or something in the H3O, you put that in the water, little CR7 Drive, it's like life when you like tired and walking. The meal bars was clutch. My dad had the meal bars. He was like, he eating the meal bars in the park, like, hey, this stuff really works. I could never get him to eat a meal bar. You know, now he's a meal bar, like, you got one of the meal bars there. I couldn't open a meal bar without him taking something. And it was Father's Day, so we got to spend Father's Day at the character buffet, and we got to eat with Cinderella and her evil stepsisters and the evil stepmom and Prince Charming. We got to eat with them and hang out on Father's Day, and Bill got to take a picture. The evil stepmama tried to, recruit Bill to buy him a diamond ring, buy her a diamond ring. That was pretty dope.
They get into it.
They get real into it, man. But I tell you what, though, Herbalife got some pull, man. Like, we literally shut down Disney, and that's a big deal. And we met a distributor, an older distributor that's been doing Herbalife with them. He's an entrepreneur, and he has multiple businesses: real estate, accounting. He even opened fish restaurants. He has all of this, but he was an Herbalife distributor 30 years ago. And, he's not currently active right now, but he loves the products. And he said he's a serial entrepreneur. He goes from business to business. And he was looking at us, and he was sharing his experiences with my dad. And he gave us a weight loss pie recipe. And he was just saying, like, if he was ever to do network marketing, he's been looked at and recruited by every company there is. And he's just like, why would I do any other network marketing company other than Herbalife? They got the best products. They got the best company. They got the best leadership. Why would I do anything else? And having my pops hear that from somebody, just being able to see different people other than me. He saw this guy, this is an older white guy, where you can tell he looked like money. He's done everything. Say that. It's just like that seal of approval for everybody. Like, I tell you what, I made some good money with Herbalife.
Yeah, vision. So we all need to have that, right? I think Deontay was on a vacation last year, but except from Deontay and me and Matea, no one yet has experienced a Herbalife vacation. And for me personally, until I experienced it, it didn't become a must for me. I experienced it, and there's no way you can comprehend I can't comprehend what Des felt, but I have a slight idea because I went to 3 Herbalife vacations, and there's, I'm telling you, there's absolutely no way you can afford yourself just to be around those people, to be in that environment, and for the company to treat you, just like the way it treats its Herbalife distributor. So I encourage everyone on the call who is really serious, who really wants to experience whatever, everything that they want to experience. Put this as a must. Put this as a must, not just on a goal list. Put this on your must list, because you have a goal list, something that you might not accomplish, and most of them you will, but some of them you won't. But there's some things that you put on a must list, and I encourage you to put Herbalification on a must list. And my experience, when you put something on a must list, whether it be a monthly goal or a yearly goal, Herbalification, whatever it is, it's already done. And this becomes, and Herbalification has the potential to become that magnet that's going to pull you so strongly in that direction that you won't actually have any other choice but to actually qualify. And then when your team sees you qualify, when you experience this, you've seen it through Deontay, you've seen it through Desentea, and some of you guys that went to bigger events. You've seen what it does to people, that energy, that inspiration. It changes people for the better. And they start, they make decisions, and they start moving in that direction that all of you want, that everyone wants, the direction of their goals and dreams, but they start moving with more clarity and with more certainty. And this is, that certainty and clarity, it comes from the events. It comes from, qualifying VIP. It comes from, talking to the leaders one-on-one. And it definitely comes from, Herbalification, because I'm telling you, that experience is priceless. It's priceless. You cannot measure it with material possession and money, how much value it gives you as a person, that you can share that with others. But just to end this call, maybe someone has, I would love if anyone has anything to say, you can always raise your hand and you can speak up just like this did. But at this point, all roads right now lead to Extravaganza. I believe we have an STS in Houston. I don't know if we have any other STSs in the US before Extravaganza. STS in Houston, we have Graham Edwards, which is the sponsor which is mentor from Enrique Carrillo, one of the most successful distributors in the world. I'm telling you, this guy, I heard him only once live at an Extravaganza in Europe, and this was the event. Hearing him, I actually went full time. 2 months from hearing this guy. So this is how powerful his training was. So definitely don't miss it. If you're in the Houston area, if you're a little bit of a drive from Houston, definitely, if you're even alone, it's worth the trip to listen to this guy. But at this point, all roads to lead to Extravaganza. And at this point, I know all of you guys have your tickets and you have your accommodation. But what I encourage you to do at this time is to make that extra push, to give that extra personal initiative, to go that extra mile, to make sure that you have maybe one more person extra than what you maybe would have if you didn't do that personal initiative. Because having maybe one person extra on Extravaganza, or 2 or 3 or 4, it will maybe make potentially a whole world of difference in the next year or 2. And you have an opportunity to give the gift of Herbalife, an opportunity to change their life to someone else. And also, don't forget, Friday's recognition night on Extravaganza. So you will have the opportunity to get 2 guest passes. So if you have anyone in St. Louis or in the surrounding areas, reach out to those people. You can have 2 guests on the biggest Herbalife opportunity meeting in the world, which is going to be held on Friday. So keep that in mind as you focus on your daily disciplines, as you focus on your weekly focus, as you focus on your monthly goals to end this month. All roads right now lead to Extravaganza, and it's gonna come by really quickly, and it's gonna pass really quickly. And LDW is around the corner, right? LDW is around the corner, and the end of the year is essentially, and actually the beginning of Herbalife year after Extravaganza is right around the corner. And the people who are doing the deal right now, who are in action, who are in personal momentum, who are catching personal momentum, are going to be the ones that are going to capitalize it. Because remember, in entrepreneurship, in Herbalife, you don't have a boss. You don't have to do anything. You can do it all, but you don't have to do anything. And this is your choice, completely your choice. No one's gonna tell you you have to close Get Team, or else you're gonna get fired. No one can fire you, but you can put it in your head that you have to close Get Team, and that you have to close Millionaire Team, and that you have to close President's Team. First and foremost because of you, then because of the team of people that you're going to help reach their goals, and then because of your family and all the people that you're going to influence for the better during your lifetime and for the future generations. So it is about you, but it's so much bigger than you. So essentially, you have to do it. You have to do it. Because you got to ask yourself the question, what else are you going to do that has the potential to provide so much value to the community, to your city, to your state, and that has the potential, to help you truly become the best possible version of yourself, and the person that, in 5, 10, 15, 20 years that you right now are going to be truly proud of. Extravaganza, man. I'm excited. I'm flying in from Europe. If I'm flying in from Europe, no one else has an excuse. And you can tell them, if one of my mentors, uplines, is coming in from Europe, you have no excuse but not to come. This is how big it is,
That's why I went my first year, because you was coming from Europe.
Yeah, this first year because I came. I said, look, I'm coming from Europe. What the is your excuse?
Yeah. What you got going on? Nothing? What you eating, Burger King? Man, you better come to this event.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Does anyone else have something else to call? Because I believe that I got a lot of nuggets from this, and definitely that vision is so important for me too. Even, it will always be. I get inspired from the stories. I get inspired from vision of other people.
I'll tell you what, though, Herbalife spent at least 10, 15 million to send us all out there. $15 million. They just wrote a check for us to have an amazing time. That's the company we got behind us.
15 mil.
15 mil, man. Look, the rooms were $600 a night themselves.
There's gonna be pocket change in 5 years.
Oh yeah. They just wrote a check. $500 shopping credit, Disney gift card for every. At one point, the lady said she had 1,000 or something like 1,000 of those $500 Disney credit cards in her hand at once.
My
she was nervous. She didn't want to drop them.
I'm excited. Extravaganza. I'm excited. But I'm excited. Thank you, Bunyan, for taking up some time, man. Thank you, Dez, for sharing my Disney, man. Cause I can't wait to go to Connor, man. So, like I said, I'm going for it no matter what. And like I tell everyone, even if you go for it and you don't make it, you built up a lot of momentum in the process. And then Herbalife is Extravaganza coming to Houston next year. So, man, that's freaking amazing that we all gonna celebrate right here in Houston. I don't know. Can y'all see it? Can y'all see it yet?
Yes.
All right. But I'm gonna be charging like for people to stay here because that's a good weekend to make money. I'm just joking.
He's joking, but he's serious. What y'all gonna put on them groceries?
Hey, man. I never forget about that bacon.
No, don't be like me and put $5 down for a pack of bacon.